Hey guys, welcome back to Clash with Bando. I've got the weekly ACA, so the Aussie Clan Alliance recap for MLCW. It's week 1, season 4. Season 4 has changed a little bit. We have a look at, there's a new entry of breakdown, 2 actual new entries towards their systems. There's now 5 breakdowns within MLCW. They changed around, they added Battle Machine, which is the old Barbarian King, and then they added another one. I really don't recall what that one is called, but the new 5th one is for trial leagues. It's got Town Hall 8s, 9s, and 10s, I think. Don't quote me on that. I need to get a picture. If I can get one, I'll post it on the recap. Now, we have a look. First off, for the rank for the week was Aussie Woot Woot versus LP6 Pegasus. This was Thursday, Friday in Aussie time. And it could have been one from Woot Woot at the end. One Dick Bedball, that's mine. Failed a 3-star hit. The only attempt for a Town Hall 10 vs 10 from Woot Woot's side. So you can see 5 hit downs. There was only 3 hit downs on LP6 Pegasus side. There was only 2 6-packers for Woot Woot, being Eiffel Barker, 1 fresh hit. And it was Gundiver, myself, my Town Hall 9 there, and that was both clean up. So nothing really special there. Well done to Eiffel, though, for hitting that 6-pack. It's good to get back in form. It's the first week in the series. So we look at their kittens, the only one for LP6 getting the 6-pack. They did have a fairly well spread out stars, so they only had 4 accounts, didn't get any 3 stars, whereas we did have the 7 that didn't get any 3 stars. So yeah, it's starting off a little bit rough now. It was only 2 fresh hits to 1, so we only got 2 fresh hits, and LP6 only got 1 fresh hit. So yeah, it's a bit of a drown out. You can see a couple of bases causing some grief there. It took 5 attacks to get Meth down, our number 14, and that was the very last attack from LP6. If they failed it, they would have lost a star. So yeah, well done for the pressure there. Other than that, a 3-3 there. Let's have a look at the 3 of the better hits. We'll show the 2 fresh hits. Where are we? This was King Electro versus number 7. Now I'm fairly certain this is an earthquake shattered, no, a stoned go hog strategy. So you can see the earthquakes there. They get a really good open. They're going to give you about 60 to 70% of that base. And you can see here the 3. I don't know whether he needed to get that golem up the top there onto that mortar. Probably could have just tracked it down, but it worked really, really well. I like the wizard up the side here. Maybe could have used a minion or 2 up the top there instead. But the Wizards did just enough to make sure those bowlers, they walked into the middle of the base and did their job. You see the rage there. Old Jimmy Bob going nuts at the enemy queen. That's no poison, of course, with the earthquake set. So the baby dragon able to get a fair bit of damage out there. The queen coming in behind now and soaking up the end of that rage. Now bowlers going nuts under rage, and you can see Surgical Hogs had 2 heals left. Surgical Hogs didn't need to smash them down too quickly, but then goes thicker and heavier on the Hogs to get into there, knowing that they were all by themselves. They had no tanks. The tanks were held up there in the wall sections, but had 2 heals, used them well, used the Hogs well. There was a good split there at the end, not making sure all the Hogs hit those giant bombs, but good cleanup. You can see Queen ability not needed, Queen on full health. Golem left in midfield there, a couple of Golemites, bowlers everywhere, Hogs everywhere. So well done, Mr. King Electro. Just the 1-3 for the war, but that was a fresh hit, and in a war where they weren't very many. Well done. Let's have a look now at a re-hit. We'll have a look at Gundiver hitting on number 8. Something different. This is a Lightning Lava Loon, and it was a re-hit. So this was the 2nd hit. Did do an analysis on this attack. The 1st and 2nd hit, it was put up as a strategy breakdown, so feel free to go and have a look at that. Look at me getting me plugs in. You can see, start off with a lightning on the Queen's air defense. Probably a second too early. Could have got a bit more splash damage onto the Queen. Now the Wizard started in the corner at 9 o'clock there. That's to push old Jimmy Bob to make sure he turns the direction required and that's to go counterclockwise. So the pop on the Jimmy Bob there, the rage effect, that actually caused Barbarians to come out and save the Queen taking a bit of damage. So you can see, starting from the top air defence, lots of haste, lots of loons, quad lava loon, so 4 hounds. Both skeleton traps were on air, so slowing down some of the pups. Plenty of haste. So yeah, it was a good re-hit, was a good analysis. Definitely worth watching the thought process behind that raid. It's good to see sometimes. I've been asked to do a few more base analysis and strategies for the 9s and 10s specifically. Hound in the clan castle there, so that wasn't needed to activate at all. That's why there was a suicide for the heroes and no ground troops. Let's have a look at one of Eiffel's for his 6-pack. We'll look at number 12. So this was the other fresh hit from them. Where are we going here? He's gone in with it's a cold-blooded go hog. So there's hogs in the clan castle troops as well. Now you can see where that clan castle is. The intention was to use 2 balloons versus that mortar and then 1 hog to draw the clan castle, but of course the troll Tesla's there to stop that effect. So the secondary option being launch the golem into it, probably a little bit early on that golem. Could have used the wizards to start off with and clear some damage first before dropping that golem down, but it still did the job. We'll speed that up. You can see now the clan castle comes out, unknown clan castle. It was a hound. That's going to slow down his queen, but what's nice about that is the queen has no defences shooting at it. So that's really well timed. Could have started the hogs any time now from the top. Didn't need to wait for the queen. And that in the end is going to mean she's likely going to die, I think. Yes, out comes that 4th Tesla and knocks out the old queen. Drops her down. Heals were really, really well done with this raid. I think that was part of it that caused the 3. You see the skeleton spell on the enemy queen there going well. They trigger her. She stays in that cell. 3rd heal hits the dance floor. And unfortunately not enough skeletons left to be able to kill the enemy queen. But he's got a heap of cleanup. Lots of wizards. Lots of archers. A minion or 2. Minions, always keep in mind, you go minions 1 at a time, because you might trigger a air trap when you do a ground-based attack, of course. So 1 minion, wait to see if there's any traps, 2nd minion if there is. So well done there. What I might do is I don't usually show the enemy's attacks too well, but let's have a look at who they got down as a fresh hit and celebrate that attack there. I think it was number 9 versus our number 9. So SWAT leader was attacked by their number 9, ABD. Let's see what happened here. I recall this being an interesting attack. Probably a poor base. Definitely will say it there. We did see this base out. It looks like a bloody stealth bomber. It's funny how I was seeing some pictures now. With that clan castle where it is, it was funny to not see a attempt at a clan castle draw. 1 hog, 5 units bases. I would have had a crack and just seen what's in there. 6 healers, 4 on the queen. She's starting from the top from 12 o'clock. That was good because if there was any troll Teslas up there, she'd pick them up. It goes down now. She's got to work clockwise. Now, that air defense isn't going to really give her any grief. So turns it into a bit of a witch slap on one flank. But then there's Valks. There's wizards. Jimmy Bob gets thrown down. There's bowlers in the clan castle. So kind of turns it into a walk through the guts. Maybe kind of some heave-a-ho. Not a major tail on the base. So definitely relying on that second jump to get all of the Valks and the old blue ballers through the midfield there. So definitely different. I liked it. Use of a few different troops. But for the base, there would have been... You could have done a... I looked at this base and thought, oh, geez, I'd love to do a bit of an avalanche attack versus it. And you can see with 6 healers copping some of the traps. Only 2 left by the looks of it, but level 30 queen, she's just loving it, saying, give me more, give me more. And you can see the witches going to town as well. 3 witches left. Blue ball stuck down the bottom there. And yeah, that was it. Excuse me. Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits. Fresh hit from ABD. So, yeah, unlucky to start with a loss for the season, but that's the first war. Let's go and have a look at the second one. Okay, so second war of the week for the ACA, Down Under versus Too Swift, Too Sure. Now, Down Under went up a rank. They actually stayed in Barbarian King League. Now, what it is they stayed in the same name of the league, but the numbers were changed. It's 2 Town Hall 11s, 5 Town Hall 10s, and 13 9s, and that makes a 20v20. So it's a step up for Down Under. They come off Red Rhinos, a loss to them in the BK League last season with the 13 breakdown. So it's going to be an interesting breakdown to see 2 5 13. There's not a lot of Town Hall 9s, so you're going to want to make sure that your 9s are doing well, you've got a good side, but you're balancing people out, because 13 is very easy to fill when some of these clans have 20 or 30 numbers. So you can see 1 star left on the opponent's number 2, so Too Swift, Too Sure. There was 2 stars left on that, 1 star left on that, and only 1 Town Hall 10 left alive. After that, everything was 3-starred. So statistically for the war, I didn't get to see it all hour by hour, but Down Under dealt with all the 9v9 action and did have, I think it was possibly 3 opens, whereas Too Swift, Too Sure needed 1 hit down, 10v9. And they did use one of their 11s to hit the Town Hall 11 as well. They didn't get that open. And we look at, there was 3 6-packs in the Town Hall 9s for Down Under being simply shredded, because I'm a Batman and Nicky J down the bottom there. All hit 6-packs. I don't know that they were fresh 6-packs. No, there was 1 re-hit in a couple of them. So very well done. Too Swift, Too Sure, not too sure where all their players have gone. Maybe they run a different league in one of their other clans, in a family or something like that. They did have just the one. Oh no, so they had 2 6-packs. It was Gin and Rice Krispie right there together. They're 14 and 15. One was a 6-pack, so well done to Gin. Defense-wise, let's have a look. I haven't looked at the numbers on here. You can see 3, 4... So Jin actually took 4 defences and hit a fresh pack 6. So really good war for him. Outside of that, 99% left on the opponent's number 5. That was a max base. And it was a 10v10 action on their number 6. So that's good to see from Down Under's side. Very positive start of the season. Heavier league. Where are we? It took 2 hits to get... looking at the wrong one. Where are we? Keep going down, Bando. It's a late night. Ben took 5, and that was a Town Hall 10 cleanup. 3 on our number 11 air raid there. Only 1s and 2s on the rest, bar number 20. So overall, Too Swift, Too Short didn't do too bad on the Town Hall 9s. Couldn't really bring it 10v11. And they had a couple of dip fails. Really unfortunate. 2 dip fails for Too Swift, Too Short, and then the 1 dip fail for Down Under. So overall, looking at the statistics and the numbers, I guess teams should be aiming for 57. Now 57 is going to be all dip successes and hitting the 2 stars on the Town Hall 11. So that's what the aim you would think would be. And this war finished 56 to 54. So even with a 10v10 first week, it's going to take a little bit to get used to. And I think it's going to take adjusting, much like CWL, where teams are going to have to make a judgment. Do the 10s think they're going to be able to get them? If not, are they going to use Town Hall 11s? What are the 11s going to build like? It's going to be a really interesting setup. Now we see here Mincemeat hitting at number 6. I didn't see the stats on this, but it looks like a max base to me. Gone in with the Witch Slap. Bowlers and Witches on both sides. Enemy King was up the top there, and the Enemy Queen's up there as well. So I wonder whether that, followed by the Wizard Tower and point defence, is going to be problematic. But some lucky splash onto the Arch Tower there. Didn't get it down. Jimmy Bob in the midfield there. Gets that healed, and that's a really nice positioned heal. Jimmy sits in that for most of the time. And that jump, getting into that back Inferno, well placed, very well placed on that second jump. And it was obviously a 3-star. Let's go up to 2 speed there. Now you see those top witches there. They did struggle with that Queen and the the Wizard Tower. But the witches down the bottom there, able to get the job done on the Enemy Queen. Pops the ability on his own Queen. And struggles through to the end by the looks of it. Oh, look at that. Good old Baby Dragon to save the day and knock out that Wizard Tower. Very, very smart placement. good to see some 10v10 in the first round. I'm not too sure what the rest of the league is like at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see stats. I think it's another 11-week season. So it is going to be really interesting to see how MLCW goes now with the 5 leagues. Nick's Corner is linked up with Down Under, and they've put one in the trial league. So I'm not too sure how that works, whether there's a ladder. I think they just do weekly wars, and it's about prepping people up and still keeping the 8s and the 9s, the lower 9s, busy. What I liked about this was a fresh hit from Co, and he's just gone in with a simple 2 giant draw. It's not dumb at all. It was a brilliant ballsy move. 10 unit spaces. It doesn't look like there's going to be any kind of trigger to get through. And draws the CC, drops a poison out, uses Jimmy Bob to tank for the Queen. And what's going to happen there is you look at how well that is done as well with the value. Going to get the enemy Queen. Absolutely massive value. And then just launches into a lava loon. I wonder whether he's got loons in the clan castle. I didn't watch that far. I only watched the intro of this raid at the start. And you can see there, good placement on those first couple of hounds. Getting a good spread, picking up red traps everywhere. And what is in the clan castle? Come on, show us. A big level 4 hound. I'm trying to use clan castle loons a bit more at town hall 9s and 10s. Because if you can sit a heal on those, they do absolutely massive damage. And you can see that hound, though, well used at the end, tanking the archer towers, 2 archer towers. That wizard tower holds that haste for the end there. So well done. Plenty of cleanup left. Still holds onto a couple of minions. Wasn't sure where to use them. So thank you, Mother, for the rabbits. Fresh hit. Well done, Co. That's actually Doth, one of our Town Hall 11s in Down Under. I feel hard when you sort of say, is it us, is it ours, Down Under? Obviously, all alliance clans for the Aussies. Let's have a look now at number 10. The next one along. Now, this was one of Simply Shredded's hits. And this was, he had a 6-pack war, so good war for Simply. Now, what was interesting with this raid, it's a stoned raid with witches and healers on one of the flanks. So, I'm not sure whether... Yeah, okay, I see. I've been told about this. Dash is quite proud of this raid. There was a couple of things I liked with this raid. What was good with this raid was the clan castle kill. Quite ballsy. It's a golem, 30 unit spaces, but it kept everything there long enough and popped on those Valks, and it absolutely smashed them. Now, the second thing I like about seeing this raid is the 2 healers on that that golem down the bottom. That's going to get 100% healing, and all the air defences are offset against the other side. So you're going to have no air defence fire. There may be possibly 1 trap down the bottom there. 1 air trap. You wouldn't expect there to be 2. So you're always going to have at least 1 healer on a golem. And it's going to be soaking the whole time. That's allowing the witches, the skellies to move along. And you can see the double jump through the midfield for the core. And just the witches up the top. So really well weighted raid. Fresh hit, of course. Wasn't aware what was going to be in the clan castle. Really, really ballsy clan castle kill. I did like that when I saw it and thought this would be great for the recap. Just showing people out there what others are thinking about. I'm trying to do more strategy recaps. And I'm sure if you go and watch Dash's YouTube as well, he does one. Deer Down Under. He'll have a lot more of the replays from this individual war. One more I'm going to show as well. Number 16. Come on, baby. Where are we? Number 16. Old Ed. Ben versus Ed. Now, this was a Queen Walk hog, I think. And I liked it. Very, very simple start. 2 archers to get that camp at the start to do the herding. And then the 4 healers. So the Queen's always going to want to go that way. All he had to do was remove that camp. The Queen will then naturally turn unless there was possibly a Tesla down the side here somewhere. I'm going to leave this in 2-speed for a little bit, but I will pause it to what I'm going to show. So the Queen. This can be a bit of a problematic raid, drawing the clan castle. Troll Tesla there, that caused a bit of grief at the start. Now he's wanting the clan castle draw. Now you see enemy king, and that's the clan castle draw here. And I will pause, and I'll get the old pen out. Now, with the clan castle in the middle there, if you draw the clan castle, so if you send in a hog there at, say, the archer tower where he's got it, obviously he didn't do that, but you can see the effect of what's going to happen. That clan castle is going to get triggered and then run at your healers. It happens ever so often. Now, what some people do fail to do is to keep in mind to have one baby dragon on a walk raid like this. That one baby dragon, you can see the enemy CC beelining for your healers. If they get that healers, generally that's going to mean raid over. So, let's see how he deals with this. You can see it was only a couple of archers, and he did drop down wizard, so he spotted it. I didn't watch that far in the raid, so that's really awesome to see. It takes someone that's watching the raid, because if you lose your healers, it can be an absolute game over. So now we've got 3-point defences around the queen, but only the 2 shooting the queen. Doesn't use a rage, has already used the rage, all the abilities. That was good. And then, yeah, throws old Jimmy Bob into the enemy queen, starts the hogs up the top, has 3 heals. So that's a massive number of heals to get with 20 personal hogs, I think there were, and then also clan castle hogs. So spring traps just are not going to do enough. Probably didn't even need the golem there. Excellent raid, Benny. Good to see the clan castle draw. Yeah, it's just one of those things people sometimes I do see fail. They draw it and then the baby dragon goes towards the healers and it's lights out. They give them a bit of a slap and tickle and it's definitely no good. So, yeah, it's a win to Down Under. I will have to wait a day in real time to get the Hide Goons recap, but see you there.
Okay, so third and final for the week for week 1 of MLCW Season 4. We've got Hired Goons taking on Sigilo HBAC. I don't know what the second bit stands for, but it's a Spanish clan, and from my understanding, stealth or secrecy is what the first word means. So what we saw here was they performed really, really well. Sigilo, I don't know, that's how you pronounce it, but they performed really, really well at Town Hall 9 level, getting all 9 versus 9 action. Goons did need 3 hit downs, but they had 3 hits on 10v10s. There were 2 opens from Goons, 5 opens from Sigilo, so they had a lot of carryover. Really impressive from Goons' sides was out of their 7 fresh hits, 3 of them were for Mark, Vasto, and Skeleton. All fresh hits, so 6-pack fresh hits are quite rare. Now let's have a look at defence. I didn't look here on this side. 4 defence to Sniper there, so that was good. The rest of it was 1s and 2s. So really, really good performance from Sigilo. They just couldn't get the Town Hall 10 versus 10 action. You see the best hit they had there was a 1-star, 62%. So I'm sure by the end of the season, these guys are going to be a very, very impressive clan. And this is what they're coming up with now. They've got 3 6-packs there. I think there was 1 more 6-pack, was there? No. So if these guys come up with this kind of 9 versus 9 action now, their 10s will prep up pretty quickly. And these guys are going to be 5 and a hit down on their number 11, 5 and a hit down on their number 9, and it was 4 and a hit down on their number 4. So only 3 bases causing Goons trouble. The rest were either 1 or 2 hit. But yeah, I can see Sigilo definitely being a team to watch out for in the Battle Machine League. What was the other stats I had a look at? Not too much. Look, I'm at night shift at work, so I'm trying to get out a quick recap to make sure I've got the complete week for the Aussies. And I'm going to show one of each of the guys that did the 6-packs. We've got Mark, DS2 coming out here. Now he's gone in with the old witch slap, and it's an interesting variation. I think I did see one at Down Under like this, similar, where you've got healers on one flank, no healers on the other. Oh no, it was on a golem the other day. So we see the healers on the witches going down the bottom, and now those healers have moved around onto all kinds of stuff. There must have been a trap getting one. Baby Dragon, Witch, Archers in the Clan Castle. Enemy King up the top there got centered onto the golem that was up with the top group, and that killed the golem, but the witches do take over from there. 1 mortal, 1 wizard up the top there might cause those guys a bit of grief. Both the healers are still there. Troll Teslas, these guys seem to have Troll Teslas in quite a few spots. Just the 3 Teslas for the farm. Now that's going to cost that top witch group there, definitely. But because part of the power of these witch slaps is those healers, if they manage to get into some really good positions, which it looks like they have, staying on the queen, level 28 queen there, she's going to do the work required to get through to the end. So you'll see her get through there. The cannons, the witches now with 3 or 4 witches left on the top there, so they will absolutely smash it. Obviously have to double back to get that Troll Tesla, but well done, Mark. Good war for you, mate. Yeah, so really impressive weekend for the Aussies. Nick's Corner is the one in the trial league. I don't even know the name of it now, but they got a win as well. So it was 3 out of 4 for the Aussies going through. Let's have a look now at number 7. Didn't get a lot of sleep, so you might hear a bit of difference in the old voice. Now, I didn't see this full raid, but I saw Valks, I saw healers, I saw a golem. I thought, heck yeah, let's have a look at this. So we've got a Heave-Ho of types. I wonder what he does with the Queen Walk. Looks like he's trying to push her clockwise. Now that geared up cannon is going to give her a bit of grief, especially with that Tesla coming up. But that's good. Times that rage well. So we'll go into 2-speed now. Golem comes up, so it looks like he's going to join those Valks into the Queen Walk and turn it into a proper Heave-Ho. Yeah, out come the redheads. The Queen's there. Valk in the clan castle now. Luckily enough, the Queen gets that air defense down before centering on the Hound. Unfortunately, those healers sit on the Queen. The Valks run off. They get smushed. Old Jimmy Bob, though, being in the cell where he is, he's going to get really, really high value on the outer rim of that base. It's a bit of a flaw there, I guess. That was good analysis. And then Hogs with a heal to come through at the end. So the Queen, she gets that Hound through, has to saves her ability, had a couple of wizards giving her help. And yeah, looks like a bit of a weakness on that base, taken to advantage. So good analysis, Vasto, even with the Valks going off in the place. We don't see Heave-Ho too much. I know Down Under do a little bit of the healers with the Valks joining the kill squad. So well done there, Vasto, good war as well. And let's have a look now at Skeletons, hit the 6-pack. Let's go down to number 14 to see his. Now this was just a good old witch slap. Now it's a shitload of witches, 10 witches, a 3. So I stoned a golem. It looked like that was a free draw clan castle, so you could have drawn that with a loon or a hog. Chose not to go with the draw, instead just slapping out the witches and dealing with it on the fly. So it has 2 poisons, 1 donated of course. Drops that down, probably a little bit high on the 2 of those. Loses the golem early. Out come the bowlers. So it's 2 jumps, 1 rage, 1 heal. It's all going to go through the central group, you would assume. There's no real tail, so Jimmy Bob walks on the corner. So just a level 20, 22 heroes and a fresh 6-pack. So even whether it's a witch slap or not, manage to analyse the bases, get them out as freshies. So we've got 2 witches in the middle with the Queen there. They're helping tank a little bit. The bowler split off with a golem. Now you see the witches getting the flank Teslas. That did not work well for them. 3 troll Teslas. Unfortunately, they've not really worked in this attack. Just enough to be able to trick that wizard tower, causing a bit of grief at the end there. So yeah, well done, Skeleton. So good war all round. Hired Goons have been working hard to be, this is their 3rd season now in MLCW, so they've been working hard. They're getting their player group up, and a really impressive win, and their 10s will only get better through the season as well. So all round, hope you guys enjoyed the recap, and catch on.